Alright, so Drew doesn't know how to clean a PC, so I'm going to show him how to build one, or not build one, clean one. So first, obviously, you got to like make sure everything's closed. It's like, close that, and then you turn off your PC, right? And you want to make sure you shut it down like this. That way, like, everything shuts down. And then you want to unplug everything. So, like, all these cords back here, that's a lot. And you also want to make sure that you unplug your HDMI and your DisplayPort thing. And if you have any dongles like this, it's kind of hard to get back there. If you have any dongles like this, you want to unplug those too. And then you gotta move it onto like a soft surface. My desk is too tiny, so I have to move it on my bed. I almost just forgot. Also, make sure you turn off your power supply and you unplug it out. And then next, you want to undo these right here, depending on how your PC case is. I normally just use like a simple screwdriver for it, so I can just. I'm using the camera to. Oh my. Got it. And then once you have this panel, which is my front panel, but you have a fish tank case, so you don't have this, and then remove both panels for you, then you're going to be able to get inside the PC. Once you get inside the PC, you want to unplug your GPU. It's very weird. And then once you get back here, if you have an AIO or something, you move that. There's a little clip back here that holds the GPU in there. You're just going to press that. Well, first, you don't do that, but you got to remove the PCIe slot. So, let me do that. Now that I have access to this, I just got to put this through there. And then unscrew it. You want to make sure you only unscrew the ones where your GPU is. That way it's easier to access. Kinda. Alright. And always make sure that you keep your pieces somewhere that you know where they are. And then after this, you're going to go back to this. Press this down. That's such weird fingers. Holy. I sometimes just use like a screwdriver. So, that right there, you just push that down. I don't know if this is easy or not to see, but you just push that down. Oh. You're going to push that down, and then you'll be able to take out your GPU. And once you're able to get to your GPU, you have it out, just like take like a air blower or something, or you can just like blow into the GPU, and make sure you blow in through here, because that's where all the dust gets at. And then also get your fans. That way you can get all the dust out of there. After you have your GPU out, what I normally do is I also take out my RAM. That way, if there's any like dust that gets trapped into the DIMM slots, you can just like remove it. But since I clean this almost weekly, it's very easy for me. And there's my CPU under there. It's kind of hard to see because, you know, CPU cooler. You don't normally have to clean the CPU cooler, but normally you want to change your like thermal paste, like not very often, but kinda every like 2 years or something. But once you're done with that, then you want to get to your M.2 slot, which mine is right here, because I have a weird motherboard, but, well, not exactly a weird motherboard, but But normally you want to get a smaller screwdriver and just undo that. But normally with newer motherboards, you'll have a newer, what's it called? A newer one, so it's just easier. So you just like pop it off, and it's like more of a, oh my god, can I get this thing off? Did I not unscrew it all the way? Oh my, doing all that. But once you get to that, move that off to the side. You want to make sure that everything is good. And under your motherboard, there will be this heatsink, or under your SSD thing, there will be this heatsink. You want to make sure that there's nothing on it. So I have a couple hairs on it, so I just like move it, and then you just put the heatsink back onto your SSD. I just accidentally ended the video, but it's kind of hard to get a good angle in here. So just make sure that's on, and then just screw it back in. Normally, people won't do that because it might get even more dust onto their SSD, but I just like to do it because I'm trying to figure out how to build more PCs. But yeah, there's that. And then occasionally what I'll do is I'll also unplug this. Oh my god, it won't come out. Bro. But sometimes I'll just unplug that, make sure all the things are able to suit well. And you always want to make sure it's in there, because whenever you boot back up your PC, it might not work. And then after you're done with that, you're going to put back in the DDR, or your RAM, memory, whatever it is. But DDR5 is a little bit different, because you have to make sure that it's lined up the correct way. So like this is lined up the correct way, but if you look at this little like thing, it won't line up all the time. And you always want to make sure that there's 2 dots on this side and only 1 on this side. That way it's like, you know, or you just don't take them out at all, but that's honestly up to you. And then you just click it back in, and you normally people don't want to put a lot of pressure on it in case they accidentally break it, but you have to put pressure on it. That way you can actually get that click up here. Oh, where? Yeah, sometimes you just need to put some force onto it, and then little wiggle test, push down on it, wiggle test, push down, and then just after you're done, get your GPU back in. Alright, so now that I have the GPU back in, you want to make sure that you mount it the right way, because if you don't, kind of stupid, but hopefully you know how to mount it back in. So you want to make sure that it's in that same PCIe slot, and then oops. Just hold up, and then you just like click it back in there, and you want to make sure that that clip is still open. And then once it gets pushed in all the way, it should make that sound. And it's a little bit loose, but that's only because I don't have these screws back in. So let me get this screwed in. Now that I have this screwed back in, you're gonna, oh my god, why am I doing this again? You're gonna make sure that the PCIe cover it goes back on. Holy, oops, my hand's blocking it. And then you just push it back down and it should cover it. And then you just screw it back in. And now that that's back in, just take your GPU cables and then plug it back in. And you want to make sure that these are fully seated. That way you can actually, like, yeah, so do a little wiggle test. Make sure they don't come out and then push back in case they do come out by accident. Because these little pins inside these, they have to be touching or else, like, yeah. Now normally people don't have to take out their GPU, but I like to take out the GPU so I can make sure everything's clean under it. And then after that, make sure your mesh panel or whatever it is cleaned off. And then on my case, I also have a panel up here that I can clean, but this is like really easy to access, so I just clean it while it's under my desk. And then after that, just make sure every little cable is back into place, and then get your panels back on. Also, while you're cleaning the PC, it's best to use like a can of compressed air, clean out everything. So I mean, if you want to use air on that, use it. Whatever like can get dirt on it or dust, just clean it. So yeah, that way it's like dang. And then I have this dog right here, Lola. I have this dog that's so freaking hairy, so I always get hair in my I'm messing around with the zoom way too much. So I always get hair buildup all in my PC. And then what I normally like to do is clean the glass panel that's in my PC, so it's like nice and clean and I can just like see everything really good. So just take the glass panel. I just touched that with my fingers. Oh my god. Just take the glass panel and just like make sure it's in right. Take your screwdriver or whatever it is. Maybe you want to use your hand to get these back in, but I like to use a screwdriver because it's just, I know that it's going to work very well. It's going to be tight and it's not just going to fall off. So and then after that, you just want to get all your cables plugged back in. I'm not the best at cable management, so this is going to take a second. That way I can get these more organized. So yeah. Now, once you have all the cables plugged back in, you want to make sure that you turn your power supply back on. What kind of scares me about this is that it makes like a weird sound. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not on the video, but so who knows, that fell down. I'm gonna have to fix that later. But afterwards, once you get your PC back plugged in, I'm gonna show you how to do something else in case you like ever get a new PC, so you know what to do. So you might ask or something, but the reason why I had to flip my monitors to where it's like not vertical on this side, don't mind that, to where it's not vertical on this side, is because whenever I open up my PC, sometimes it'll transfer to that one instead of my main one. So once you turn on the PC, you're gonna turn it on, and immediately once it boots up, oh shoot, I forgot that the power supply, I turned it off. So it's turned on. Then once you get the PC turned on, you immediately want to start spamming escape. That way, you can open up, maybe if my thing, or maybe it's delete, I'm not sure. But, hold on. So, I just saw it power on. No, you're supposed to open up the BIOS, you dummy. Oh my god, why isn't this plugged in? Yeah. Are we stupid? Or are we stupid? Okay, so everything's getting booted up, so give me 1 second. Quick question. That's surprising. You're on Fortnite. Okay, so I have to do a quick Windows update, so give me 1 second. Alright, now that the Windows update is done, and this should be good. Okay, so the PC should shut down any second now. Don't mind my little collections, random stuff. Never mind, the Windows update isn't done because, oh my god. Oh wait, it's 98%. There we go. Okay. Now the PC should be shutting down. It's getting louder. I don't know why. Oh my god. I hate doing Windows updates. Okay, now that the PC is back. Kinda. Okay, so power's back opening. Turn on your keyboard if you did what I did and turn it off for no apparent reason. I don't like this. Bro. It's not being nice. You were supposed to turn it off. Now I can shut it down. Okay, once I shut it down, here, let me just pause it until it's fully shut down. Oh, never mind, it already shut down. Okay, now, you're gonna turn on your PC, and start spamming the delete button. And soon, I don't know what's going on with my bottom display. It should be turning on soon. Oh, wait. Is it going to the top one this time? Bro. You gotta be kidding me. What is happening? Okay, so maybe I'm an absolute liar, but normally it's supposed to be delete. Never mind. I'm stupid. I'll be right back. I don't have the BIOS open. So basically, here. Turn on your PC. And then start spamming the escape button. Hopefully, I do it right this time. Oh, we have light. Okay, so I have the BIOS open now. Now, this is normally for whenever you're first done building the PC, but you want to make sure that your Expo is open, like it's enabled, because if it's, because like if it's disabled, then it's not going to be set to the normal amount. So mine is enabled, so it's at its max amount. But since it's stupid, it'll make it set to, like, I think it's 4,800 mega transfers, which is bad. You want to make sure that your M.2 is there. Your I don't know what that is. I don't know. Oh, never mind. That's the that's my my DDR. So, like, if you have DDR5, that's like probably the best that you can get right now. Windows, I have that installed. And then you want to make sure that your resizable bar you want to make sure that's on. That's just for your thing. You want to make sure that's on. Wait, I could change this. Okay, so sometimes you will be able to, okay, here we go. So sometimes if you want to like overclock your PC, which normally isn't recommended, I'm not very sure on how to do that yet. I need to do more on it, but so your boot, make sure that's right. Monitor, temper. Wait, what the heck? Yo. But yeah, and then after that you just go back and then save and exit. So there, and then after that's done, my keyboard wants to have a seizure for some reason. I'm gonna talk about the capybara or whatever that is. So let me fix my monitors and then I'll get it back. Alright, so now that I have this done, you want to go into this, and I don't know if you know how to do it or not, but whatever GPU you have, so if you have an AMD card like me, it'll have the adrenaline mode, and then you want to make sure that your BIOS are updated, so all that. Now for Fortnite's weird. Dang, 95 hours. But you just you want to make sure all your BIOS are updated and stuff like that. So yeah. Now you can sometimes do overclocking in the GPU manufacturer's thing, but I don't want to overclock it because I just don't. But yeah, that's how I got that set up. And then, I don't know why it moved all this over here. What happened to my other monitor? Hold on. Okay, so I was just stupid and I accidentally turned off my monitor. So yeah, that's basically it. Bye.